Okay guys, it's the TheDragonicEmpire here, again with another deck profile. This is of my Spectral Duke Dragon build.
That is the second Spectral Duke
video
on the channel.
video on the channel for the deck, I suppose.
But this one should be a bit different.
The first one belonged to Cyclone. This is mine, Inferno's build anyway. Of course, the main style of the show, Spectral Duke. Limit break 4, counterblast 2 at the end of the battle that this unit attacked.
So it doesn't need to hit?
No, it doesn't need to hit, just at the end of the battle. Retire 3 units, counterblast 2 and standing back up, but he does lose Twin Drive. So obviously don't spam his effect because it is kind of counterblast heavy in terms of counterblast 2.
It's also rearguard and resource heavy.
Yep. So you don't really want to just spam his effect because like if you're only attacking for 11 with 1 drive check, it's really not threatening at all. So if you get like double trigger on him, then of course it'd be a good time to...
Yeah, in a cross-red format though, I feel like it might be a bit...
Yeah.
Meh.
The one drive check isn't... The 1 drive check makes him fair, I would say.
It's a very fair card. Well, I think it wasn't very fair when it came out, but I'd say it's quite fair now.
It's pretty fair now.
Yeah.
Pretty fair cost. So, yep. So obviously you're running 4 of them. 4 Duke. So, yeah. So ideally you do want to get the ride chain off in this deck, but obviously the second grade 3 that I'm playing kind of complements the theme of the deck. And obviously if you miss the ride chain, he's a pretty solid alternative.
Yeah, it's not bad.
We're playing 4 Chrome Jailer.
So what's the skill of Chrome Jailer?
Yep. Card from set 9. His Persona Blast, counterblast 1, so pretty good cost there. Drop a copy of him from your hand and check the top 4 cards of your deck and call up to any 2 gold Paladins from the top 4 to an open rearguard circle, I believe. And the other 2 can go to the bottom in any order, so you're stacking the bottom of your deck. Kind of.
Fair dose.
So that's the grade 3 lineup. On to the grade 2s. Obviously, because you want to get the ride chain off, we're playing 4 Black Dragon Knight Vortimer.
Okay,
pretty standard stuff here.
When you ride chain is this?
It's I don't know, because he was the first ride chain to incorporate this kind of ride chain mechanic.
Okay.
So we'll call it the Spectral Duke ride chain mechanic. But basically his effect is when you ride it on top of the grade 1 and the grade 0s in Soul, you can retire 1 to superior call 2 cards from the top of the deck. And plus with the grade 1 in Soul it becomes 10k base, which is always pretty handy.
Not bad. I've seen it miss its effect because some people can't either get a rearguard they want to sack or they just don't get the right setup for it. Like they don't get the
if you miss the setup, then it kind of falls apart a little bit, I guess. But most of the time you're going to have something like a draw trigger or crit trigger or some kind of trigger to sack. Worst comes to the worst, you're going to have to sack a grade 1, but that's not the end of the world.
You get 2 units out of it.
Yeah, you do +1, which is pretty cool though. On the rest of the grade 2 lineup we have 3 Lopia, just to help you cycle through, and
it's not a bad target for Chrome Jailer either.
Not a bad Chrome Jailer because you can stack the bottom 2 cards of the deck and then further stack another 2. I mean, if you want to think of it that way, that's fine. But like, he's mainly here.
Like a Skuyomi.
He's mainly here just to try and fill up your field after you've Spectral Duped it or Spectral Nuked it.
It's not a bad way to go.
So we've got 2 Bastard Dark Spirit, very good to top deck off.
Not a bad Chrome target.
Not a bad Chrome target, but mainly he's here for the ride chain, I would say, because a lot of people nowadays
oh right, okay, yeah.
they have early game rushes, so they're going to be playing grade 1s on the field. So you can play Blaster Blade Spirits as well, but Blaster Dark Spirit again works with the theme of the deck. And it retires grade 2 or less.
So you're focusing on using this card during the early game rather Blaster Blade, which would be better later game.
Blaster Blade is definitely better later game because you're retiring 2 or higher. Because this is 2 or 1, when people early game rush with grade 1s, you can just snipe them off.
I mean, there's so many of those 10k grade 1s these days.
If you happen to get them off the, if you happen to get him off the top deck with the ride chain, obviously. So yeah, it's counterblast 1, we superior call him from the deck, retire grade 2 or less in the front row. So pretty handy.
Most of the time you're going to have a target for that. And it's
10k base otherwise. So, you know, the only downside, obviously, if anything attacks it, it dies, but...
You're going to instant with it anyway.
Yep. And the last 2 grade 2s I play 2 Bowmain. I mean, this is the part of the deck which I call just the grade 2 tech choice, rather, because you can put any grade 2 you want there. You can put Vivians, or you can put Trips.
Arguably, why not put a card that would net you more advantage and have a card that you would be able to cycle off your top deck?
Yeah, but the thing is, Vivian is okay. I just see it as like a on-hit Gigantic Charger or on-hit Vesper. And you're not guaranteed anything good. You counterblast 1 to sack a card, basically. I personally don't like him that much. Trip is quite handy in the fact that he can unflip counterblasted damage, which is obviously very useful. The only downside is he's 9k base, and I'm playing Bowmain simply because he's 10k base, which will be explained in my grade 1 lineup in now. First grade 1s, we have 4 Scatter Darkness Watermark, your grade 1 of the ride chain. The grade 1s of the ride chain are arguably the most important piece.
Oh god, yeah, if you don't get that thing.
Because it gets the ride chain going. Right. When he rides on top of the grade 0, you check the top 7 cards of the deck, search for either Spectral Duke or
the grade 2.
The grade 2 version of him, and add it to your hand, which is +1, obviously. And if with the grade 0 in Soul, you get +1k power, so it'll be an 8k base. So the way
bad defensively.
No, and plus it's 7k base otherwise, so it's not terrible. The way this ride chain works is you ride this, and you call ideally a trigger or a draw trigger behind it. So when you ride the grade 2, you retire that and then get 2 more cards. And because you're bad at this game, you get 2 more triggers, which sucks.
It's a possibility, but like...
It's a possibility, and then obviously...
I think you've got higher chance of actually getting an attacking unit.
Yeah, and then obviously if you ride Spectral Duke on top, found it.
Yeah.
If you ride Spectral Duke on top of the grade 2, it makes him 11k base, you retire 1, dunk top 2 cards again, so that's how this ride chain ideally works. You want to get a nice field setup to retire, then +1 off. So yep, that's that ride going. Playing 2 8k vanillas because they work for your early game rush. They're solid boosters otherwise. I mean, they're just 8k vanillas. Playing 4 Perfect Guard because you want to ideally try and get at least 1 or 2 per game.
And like a lot of the well, not a lot of the time, but on occasion you'll be sitting on 10k base if you don't get the Spectral Duke ride chain off, or you end up riding Chrome Jeller.
Yeah.
And it's quite abusable, but sitting on 10. So defensive wise, these really help.
Yeah, but mainly as well because if you get the ride chain off, you're going to be superior calling top 2 cards of deck, and there could be anything. So you could accidentally superior call these, and you do want the highest chance possible of getting these to your hand rather than the field. And also, this I'm going to leave these here actually, because the next grade 1 I'm playing are Fording Drain, the most ideal target for Spectral Duke ride chain or Chrome Jeller.
Yeah, and you do actually have quite a few effects, like the Trollin video we done recently.
Yep.
Like you've got quite a few big targets to get off the top deck for that.
Yep. But you ideally you want to play 4 so you get the best chance of getting it. I mean, people can argue you can play Silverfang Witch. Play this one.
You'll only burn through your soul faster, and you can
you'll burn through your soul faster. Plus, if you get these early game, you can still use them. Because let me just explain the scenario. Where's the grade 1? So ideally, you want to ride the grade 1, and then maybe sack a card, say, and then you've ridden the grade. Okay, you sack.
For whatever reason, you happen to draw that as the only card.
You've ridden the grade 2. But you draw into, you top into a Din Drain off the retire the card, get 2 cards effect. Which means that you're going to have to Soul Blast 2 to get the draw. And if you ride Spectral Duke on top of this, it requires the grade 1 in Soul to retire and then +2. So if you lose the Soul too early, then it hurts your ride chain. So that's why I don't play Silverfang Witch.
There you go, the card you're just holding.
In that scenario, and plus because all these guys are 6k bases which can all be potentially top decked, is another reason for playing Bowmains, because he's 10k, so you can hit 16k columns basically. That's the main reason for him. I mean, you're playing Dark Spirit as well, so you can hit 16s comfortably. Otherwise, if you're playing 9ks, you're only going to be hitting 15 because there's 11k Vanguards riding around everywhere.
And I mean, you have got Chrome Jeller and Spectral as well to help make better rearguard columns if need be.
But obviously, because you're playing 76ks, you do want 10k grade 2s to hit better numbers. I mean, the alternatives are obviously you can play nice little Slagle Dagger, nice little dog. You can play more Gareth, but The grade 1 lineup is really up to you, but I personally prefer the Dindray because you do get nice top decking abilities if the right chain goes off. On to our triggers. We got Liberator of Hope Epina, Strike Liberator, down to go.
Now, I'm not imagining this, but Gold Paladins
Silent Punisher.
Gold Paladins don't happen to have 16 different types of crits, do they?
Probably.
12.
I don't have... No, you can play 16 crit triggers. I
know you can play 16 crit. I know you don't play 16 though.
No. And 4, Flame of Victory. Flame of Victory is okay. It's just there because you can get rid of it if need be. You can push it into Soul, give something plus 3k.
Yeah.
Because you are superior calling at random, I'd say. So yep, that's 8 critical for Paladins. Pretty standard there.
Somewhat confusing for people as well if they're playing against it.
Yep, 7 different types. We got 4 draw. 2 Falcon Knight because yeah, it's more for the top decking. You can plus 2k to a unit.
Okay, then why not play 4? I mean, you are confusing people somewhat with the crits anyway.
Yeah, but at the same time, other than that, it's meh. After the time you dunk it, it becomes just 4k.
Yeah.
So it's... You'd rather have a solid 5k and then Spectral Duke and then...
Okay, right. Now I kind of see that. Make 16.
You make a 16. Which is apply more pressure. Obviously, the last trigger, 4 stands. I mean 4 heals.
Right.
You play 4 heals because...
Because yeah.
Yeah, you play 4 heals. Pretty standard stuff there. Where did I put the grade 0? Oh, it's there. And obviously the last grade 0 of the deck. Your right chain start grade 0.
Didn't start at all.
Black Dragon, White Waterman. Ride the grade 1, search top 7, get the grade 2 or 3. Gets the right chain kicked off, basically.
And if not, it called back as a 4k, I believe.
Yeah.
Which isn't amazing.
Isn't great, but you can get rid of it using Chrome Jailer.
Oh yeah, right, that's true.
Which I've forgotten to explain as Limit Break. I'll explain his Persona Blast, but not his Limit Break. Well, Chrome Jailer basically, his Limit Break is Counter Blast 2, kill 2 of your Gold Paladin rearguards, he gets plus 10,000 and plus 1 critical. So this is kind of what Phantom Blaster Dragon should have been, instead of Retire 3.
Well, it's a fair bit of a cheaper cost. It's kind of a shame it's in gold and not shadows though.
That's true. Well, that was my take on Spectral Duke Dragon. Please like, comment and subscribe.
Yeah, any feedback you can give us in the comment section below is great as well.
And hopefully we shall see you next time.